Morning, everyone. Today, I'm going to share my data science assignment with you all. My data set name is placement.csv, and I have loaded it inside my data frame, DF. So first of all, I have displayed the data set, DF. So 215 rows and 15 columns are there. You can see from the data set itself. First question is replacing all the null values with appropriate values. Inside this for loop, I have given if the column type is object, which means if it is categorical, we replace it with mode value. Mode means the repeated value. And if the column is a numerical value, and it is obvious that we replace it with mean values. So before replacement, the data set, we are checking for null values, and all other values are 0 except salary. Salary alone has null values. After replacement, we can see that it is also replaced with the mean value. So after replacement, I have displayed the data set. You can see that the salary column is replaced with mean value. There is no null values in the salary now. Second question is how many of them are not placed? Since it belongs to some related to status, we check with the status. If it is not placed, we are just counting how many of them are not placed. So we are putting inside it a data frame. If we are not putting inside a data frame, it will just return a null value. I mean, a Boolean value only. If we want the count, we have to put it inside the data frame. So we are putting this condition inside our data frame and checking for the shape. If we are not giving this indexing, which means inside the square bracket, if we are not giving 0, it will display the rows and columns. We need only the number of students. So we are going for only the rows. The 0 indicates total rows, number of students with not placed status. So there are 67 students who are not placed. The third question is they're asking for reason for their non-placement from the data set. So what we can do is we are just calculating their 10th, 12th degree entrance test and MBA marks, and we are finding their mean. From the result, we can see their values are very less, which means some 60s range. So their low performance could be the reason for not placement. We conclude that their low academic performance can be the reason for their non-placement. And fourth question is relation between salary and MBA pass mark. Since they are asking the relation, we are going for the correlation. We use correlation for finding the relation between any two columns. So from the value, we see that the correlation between these two columns are 0.14. It is a positive correlation, which means the increase in MBA pass mark will also increase their salary. Fifth question is which specialization is getting minimum salary? There are two categories from the data set. We can see there are two categories in the specialization, HR marketing and marketing and HR and marketing and finance. So we are grouping that specialization with the respective salary and finding the mean of it. From the value, we can see that the minimum, marketing and HR specialization is getting minimum value, minimum salary. So we are concluding that this particular specialization is getting minimum salary. Since their mean is less, we can say that they are getting minimum salary. Marketing and HR is getting minimum salary. How many of them are getting above 5 lakh salary? So it is dependent on the salary column. So we are choosing that particular column greater than 5 lakh. Again, as I said, if we are just using only this condition kind of thing, that will return only true or false. We have to put it inside the data frame, which returns its rows and columns. Dot shape of 0. Again, as I said, we are counting the number of students who are getting salary above 5 lakhs. So we are giving of this inside the square bracket, we are giving 0. If you are not giving this indexing, if you are giving only dot shape, it will return both rows and columns. We need only the number of students who are getting which means we need only the number of rows. So there are 3 students who are getting salary above 5 lakhs. The data set, it is very clear. It's a small data set. If you open and see, we can see, you can just count only 3 students are getting above 5 lakhs. Since it is a small data set, we can see, otherwise this way of handling it with coding is better. 7th question, they are asking us to find ANOVA between, ANOVA means analysis of variance between these 2 columns. They themselves are given ANOVA, so we are just finding the analysis of variance between these 2 columns. So here e-test underscore pass and MB underscore pass will be the independent variable, and their respective scores will be their dependent variable. So it's a one-way classification. We are directly using the function and finding the p-value. If the p-value is less than 0.05, we know that there is a condition. If the p-value is less than 0.05, we say there is a significant difference. So we reject the null hypothesis. From the value we obtain, we can see that it is some exponential value here. So it is very less, which is less than 0.05. We conclude that there is some significant difference and reject the null hypothesis, which means we accept the alternate hypothesis. 8th question is we have to find the similarity between these 2 values, degree and specialization, with respect to salary. So it is an unpaired t-test. There are 2 groups with respect to same condition. So we know that 2 groups and same condition means we conclude it as unpaired t-test. So we calculate the p-value then. If the p-value is less than 0.05, if we say there is a significant difference. So here also, if the p-value is less than 0.05, so we reject the null hypothesis and say that we reject the null hypothesis and we say that there is a significant difference between the corresponding columns given. And the 9th question is about converting salary to standard normal distribution. Standard normal distribution brings the values to a specified range. So the salary has some higher values here, and salary standard is the new name that we have given for calculating the standard normal distribution. After calculations, we again see if the salary standard is less than is between a specified range. So after all these operations, we again display the value, the data set DF, and we see the salary standard is appearing, and we can see the values are between a specified range. 10th question is finding the probability density function of salary range from 7 lakh to 9 lakhs. So we know that we already have a formula for calculating this probability density function, and we calculated the value appearing to be 5.46. It is an exponential value, which means that the probability of salary lying between 7 lakh and 9 lakh is very, very less. From the data set, we can see there are few students whose salary very, very few students whose salary lies between this 7 lakh and 9 lakhs range. So it is showing that this, which means that the probability density function is very, very less, almost zero, almost equal to 0, but very few values are there, maybe 1 or 2. And this 11th question is finding the similarity between the degree with respect to e-test and MBA test pass mark. So we are finding the ANOVA between these 2. It is a one-way classification. Here, these 2, this degree acts as a independent variable. As one category with respect to e-test and MBA. Degree is independent variable, and e-test pass mark and MBA pass mark scores will act as their dependent variable. So it's a one-way classification anyway. So therefore, we are checking the p-value. If it is less than 0.05, we can conclude that it is having some significant difference, these 2 categories. So from the values that we obtain, we can see it is an exponential value. Again, it is less than 0.05. We conclude that there is a significant difference between the conditions given, and we reject the null hypothesis. 12th question is which parameters is highly correlated with salary? So we are taking that particular column and we are comparing it with the remaining column in the data frame and arranging it in descending order. So the highly correlated value will appear in the first. So salary and e-test pass mark is highly correlated. And at last we are finding, we are just visualizing the MBA pass mark and salary. We are just performing a scatter plot. We are drawing a scatter plot with these two values, salary and MBA, and we can find that very few are above 6 lakhs. Only 3 are above 6 lakh. I mean, yeah, above 6 lakhs, and the remaining are almost everyone. More than 90% of them salary lies between 2 lakhs and somewhere around 6 lakhs and 5 lakhs. Only few are above. So this is the way that we can see the distribution.